Hey guys, it's a bit later. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. We have tons of awesome unexpected information to talk about today. And one, of course, the first one we need to talk about is Geese Howard. Now, Geese Howard is releasing very soon. And I had the opportunity to try the character and play him, which you probably have seen if you watched my previous video. But there's something that wasn't announced before, something that came out of nowhere, which potentially could mean we are getting closer to a brand new Capcom vs SNK or SNK vs Capcom. Now, before we get started and talk in details about all these awesome things, gentle reminder to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I drop a new video. Alright, let's start with Geese Howard. We finally have an official release date of the returning nightmarish version of the Emperor of Southtown. Nightmare Geese is coming to City of the Wolves on February 26th, and SNK made the announcement by releasing a brand new trailer showing the character in motion, which you can watch from the link in the description. Now, Nightmare Geese, as I said, is coming on the 26th, which is next week. I had the chance, again, big shout out to SNK for giving me early access to the character, and through that I was able to do a 20-minute video, which is already available by the time you're watching this, and I go through this new version of Geese, who is quite different from any version I have seen before. He's very strong and potentially doesn't need a lot of rev meter or rev moves, because he's just so, it's just so tough. Again, check the video link in the Geese Howard is not going to have an arcade mode. He is going to have his own chapter in the episodes of Southtown, and it's a brand new story about the nightmare version of Geese roaming the streets of Southtown, not realizing that he is dead, which sounds very interesting, so I cannot wait to check that out. Now, besides announcing Geese release and showing the trailer, SNK made the surprise announcement of round 3 of the Fatal Fury Cross Street Fighter crossover. Nobody saw this coming, because we knew that the Street Fighter collaboration, pretty much, we thought it was it, like Ken and Chun-Li, which were two big Street Fighter characters making it to Fatal Fury. Now, of course, the collaboration started even before, when we had Fatal Fury characters, Terry and Mai, dropping in Street Fighter 6. But it is not over yet, as this new collab, this new crossover, if you want to call it that, is absolutely crazy. Now, first of all, this has tons of new stuff. New alternate costumes, so exclusive outfits for both Rock Howard and Preacha, inspired by Street Fighter's Luke and Juri respectively, and I think that is pretty awesome, so unexpected. We also have a brand new EOS episode of Southtown mode additions. Now, this special chapter, if you will, has JP, the villain from Street Fighter 6, brainwashing Terry, and it's up to Ken, Chun-Li, Rock, Janet, and other fighters to put a stop to his reign of terror. Now, this is the cool thing. We'll talk about it in a second, but there's also some new crossover skills. These are unique skills that blend mechanics from Fatal Fury and Street Fighter that add a fresh change of pace. Now, this is again in that specific mode. Not only that, but they also added Carlos Miyamoto, which is a Final Fight character from Final Fight 2, and also a character that appeared in Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode. And the refrigerator, the robot or the evil refrigerator. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. And then we have a new special boss, Kage Terry. Now, this version of Terry Bogard is basically Terry Bogard infused with the Satsui no Hado, or the Dark Hado, which is the dark power that is a big part of the Street Fighter lore. And he looks fantastic, and he has a Raging Demon. Now, they make sure, SNK made sure to announce and to reveal from the get-go that Kage Terry is not playable. They're not planning to make him playable. This is just a fun, probably very difficult boss that's going to be part of this edition. And again, this is fantastic because we had no idea this is coming out. It just came out of nowhere, and it brings me to this next subject that I want to talk about. Something I've been talking about for a while. Every single step, every single edition, every single collaboration between SNK and Capcom I feel it's getting us closer to a new crossover game. Now, this started a very long time ago, and I remember the first time I talked about it was when SNK re-released the SNK vs Capcom Match of the Millennium, which is the Neo Geo Pocket Color crossover game, one of my favorites of all time, one of my favorite fighting games of all time, when it made its release on the Nintendo Switch a few years ago. That was so long ago. I think I didn't have as much or as many white hair as I have now, but that was the first step, and things kept, we had re-releases. We had Capcom vs SNK coming out. We had SNK vs Capcom before that, making a re-release with online. We had the crossover to Street Fighter, in Street Fighter 6 with Terry in mind, as I said, and now we have this on Fatal Fury. First, Chun-Li and Ken, and then this right here. And this shows the great collaboration, the great camaraderie, and the great relationship that we have between Capcom and SNK. And so many times, these two companies have alluded to they are interested in making a new crossover game. And as I said, every single step every single collaboration, every single release, re-release, DLC that brings these two companies together again is a sign that we are definitely probably gonna get some sort of a crossover game, and hopefully in the near future. And if that happens, I don't know what to, I don't know what I want from it. Do I want a Capcom versus SNK or an SNK versus Capcom? I gotta say, even though I loved Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2, wasn't a big fan of SNK versus Capcom Chaos, but as I said, I loved, and I still do, the SNK vs Capcom Match of the Millennium on the Neo Geo Pocket. It was such a great game with so much content, so many hidden characters, so many awesome, mini games. It was just, I want to see something like that on modern console, on not a portable game, but with great graphics, with and all that big amount of fan service that is packed in the little tiny Neo Geo Pocket color version of SNK vs Capcom, which is again Match of the Millennium. And I think this is fantastic. We are eating good as fighting game fans. Whether you're a Capcom fan or an SNK fan, you definitely probably is a fan of the Capcom vs SNK games. And to see any hints like that, and see concrete steps being taken in order to bring a new collaboration is absolutely fantastic. And I hope we're gonna hear something soon. But until we do that, you guys let me know, what do you think about these trailers? What do you think about the costumes, the Street Fighter costumes in Fatal Fury, the new episodes of Southtown Editions, and everything that we talked about here today? Let me know all that and more in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.